But yeah, so now we are getting into the meat and potatoes of the show, because this is our E3 2018 recap, and there is a lot to unbox here. So
let's not be too let's not get the wrong impression. With what we're starting with is not the meat and potatoes. We're starting with like the nasty like leftover meatloaf is what we're starting.
I like to say it's the crust. I like to say it's the crust.
It's the crust.
Yo, wait. I like crust though.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with some good crust, man. Or some motherfucking sourdough bread. So good.
I don't think this topic deserves crust, man.
What do you call the least desirable thing at the Thanksgiving Day table, man? What is
cranberry sauce, man?
Get out. Get out.
Casserole, the green bean casserole.
Yeah, fucking green bean casserole. Fuck that.
That's not on my table. I don't know what the fuck that is. Get that out of here.
Yeah,
What?
we are not having that discussion here. We are not.
podcast.
Wait a minute.
The weekly gaming, the fucking food testers, food show. Yeah.
We have to fight about food out here.
Yeah.
All right, can I just open up the next one? Can I go ahead and take the reins on this one?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Hey. So I'm going to keep this nice and short and sweet. The very first E3 press conference that we're going to talk about is the EA conference. And I am just going to open the floor with one simple question. Was there anything about this press conference that you guys enjoyed?
No.
I like some few
Anthem
things.
is pretty.
I like something. I like FIFA.
Honestly, if I'll start because my fucking dialogue is just fucking neutral as fuck. So whatever. But anyway, yeah, like the EA conference, for me was weird as always. They always want to do something stupid. The girl who was standing on the stage or whatever, which I don't remember, I guess whatever is said or whatever was talking about the Star Wars game, which I wanted to know more about, but all it was is she walked in the crowd. They said, "Yeah, Star Wars game," and then they walked away. And it was
Pretty much.
Yeah, like they announced a Star Wars game from the audience with the developer from Respawn Entertainment. It's like, what?
Somebody else. So like he was like, yeah, I guess
It's like, I am the head of Respawn. We created Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you're relegating our announcement and the Titanfall series, and you're regulating our freaking announcement. That was the announcement of the game.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's weird.
No splash screen, no logo. You're like, yeah, we're making a Star Wars game. Yeah, but I'm chilling. I'm having fun.
He looked like he wasn't there to make that announcement. It looked like specifically was not ready to make an announcement. They were just like, hey, you, we need more content.
I think he was backstage expecting to go on stage, and they say, yo, I'm gonna need you to go sit in the front row, and you're gonna announce it there.
I don't think that's what it was. I think that they had something that they scrapped at the last minute, and they just needed something to fill in. And they just put him on the spot like that. I thought that was horrible. But it's EA. It's EA, so what do you expect?
I mean, but on top of that, though, we had Anthem coming out, and I remember walking in because I caught the conference a little later, but I remember walking in and I see Reggie freaking looking at it, and Reggie, tell them what you told me. What made you disappointed?
What about Anthem?
Yeah, about Anthem or whatever.
It just kind of looks boring. It looks boring. I mean, the game itself obviously is very pretty, but it's just, y'all have already seen it online. It's Warframe Destiny. That's
pretty much.
It's a shoot and loot, right? Yeah, and it's the thing with those type of games. If it's going to be a shoot and loot, you got to have loot, and you got to have in-game content that's going to be compelling. And they haven't shown anything that makes you think that they have that. They have any of that.
The idea behind Anthem, though, that I was really expecting was I was not expecting a class-based game. I was actually expecting it's like, okay, here's your what they're called javelins. Here's your javelin, and it's like, okay, Trenell, you want to put on like 2 missile pods on your back, 4 rockets, and like some blades on your wrist. But then like my dude has like 2 Mega Man blasters, and he only has 1 rocket on his back. And maybe I don't go as high as you when I jump, but I go faster forward, or something like that. Like it's like you craft your own robot or your own armor piece. But it's these whack 4 classes with just like Destiny, Warrior, Warlock, and all this other nonsense. I'm like, get this out of here, man.
Yeah, it's a Me Too thing.
Exactly. Yeah, they're following in the footsteps, and I don't even know if that's such a good idea because when you have games of this magnitude, like it doesn't come together like completely. I mean, Destiny 1 and 2 had botch launches,
right?
So I don't know.
They screwed up because Destiny 2 is in a bad way. If they would have released it this spring or this summer, they might have had some momentum, and them delaying it to February just gives Bungie a chance to clean up their act.
Yeah, and which they have been doing.
And it's going to put less eyes on Anthem, especially when they're showing, like Reggie said, just disappointing stuff. It's just not as big as they claimed it would be. Yeah. When they first showed it off, my first impression was like, okay, the game is big, the game is beautiful, it's co-op, it's a shooter, it's gonna be fun. But I feel like the more I learn about it, like the more worried I get. I mean, but there's no loot boxes. There's there's no premium pass, so like
that we know of yet.
But yeah, they did talk about one game that caught my eye, Sea of Solitude, and this is coming out of their indie scene, the EA Play, the same scene that brought us the co-op game, A Way Out. Is that what it's called?
A Way Out.
Yeah. So it's under the EA Originals moniker, and it looks good. I like the art style. It seems like a fun game, a fun adventure. And the developer, when she came up on stage, she seemed very, very, intrigued. It basically piqued my interest, is what I'm trying to say. Did you guys get a chance to catch this? What are your thoughts on it?
Quick question. Sea of Solitude, is it being written by the same dude who did A Way Out as well?
No.
No.
I think the guy's French.
It would be way too soon for him to have already made another game. That would be amazing.
Yeah, he has a ton of cocaine to consume before he's ready to come back out to the public. He's in his coke cave right now. He's gearing up. But I don't think the internet's ready for him.
And this was smack dab in the middle of the press conference, and it was literally the only thing from the press conference that caught my that actually. It's not the only thing that caught my eye, but it's the only thing that wasn't disappointing.
Right. Speaking of disappointing.
All right. So there was one moment of the press conference that caught my eye and got me almost excited. And that was when they announced that they'd be making a new Command and Conquer game.
Speaking of disappointment.
That would be so great to have a new mobile.
Yeah. Command and Conquer, free to play at that, so it's going to be riddled.
Yeah, you almost did something that I approved of. You almost did it, and then you just dashed my hopes.
Yeah, this thing is going to be riddled with microtransactions.
If it makes you feel any better, I had no faith in that, so whatever.
I mean, I'm not even a fan of Command and Conquer, but the same way that Konami is releasing Castlevania games on mobile, I feel like the franchise has a legacy and it doesn't deserve this.
Right. Well, I'm gonna ask this, Reggie and Yama, you guys are PC gamers, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you played an RTS on your PC?
I played Frostpunk.
StarCraft 2.
I was playing Frostpunk before I came here.
Oh, really? Okay. So you
Frostpunk.
Currently play, Yama doesn't. I mean, the last Command & Conquer game I played was like Red Alert. I mean, it was a forgotten franchise, and it seems
actually no, that's not true. I played what should we call it? There's like underground like merchant simulator. What the hell is it called?
No idea.
There's Otherworld Merchant Simulator. It's like a game about like terraforming Mars, and like you're a merchant company, and like you got to compete with other merchant companies. So yeah, that's not true. I played RTS very recently. Just to figure out what it's called.
I think the RTSs are huge on mobile. When you look at like the Clash game, the game that Kate Upton was promoting, I forgot which one.
Oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing that one as well.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, so they're big on mobile, and mobile seems more
lucrative.
Yeah, a lot more. Definitely when it comes to loot box. I'm saying like the mobile players. The mobile players seem less offended by loot boxes than console and PC players, so they can put Command & Conquer on a mobile phone. They got a big name, and they can rake in the dough using loot boxes.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're looking to do.
By the way, Off-World Trading Company is the name of the
I've heard of that.
last RTS game that I played.
Yeah.
And
jump on.
it is. It is very good. It's very fun, very difficult, and it actually is the kind of game that would work on mobile. Maybe it's way too fast paced maybe to play on mobile, but it would work because of the fact that the controls are pretty simplified. But the thing that all RTS gamers lament is the fact that there's no RTS games anymore, which is why it would have been so hot for there to be a new Command and Conquer game, because there's been literally no competition in that space aside from StarCraft 2. Every other developer that would have made an RTS game is instead making MOBAs now.
Yeah, they're making MOBAs, yeah.
Yeah, so that was my thing. I really think that EA could have just made an RTS for mobile and just did that, quick cash grab, putting the Command and Conquer title on it. It just degrades that franchise because that franchise has a legacy. I even though I'm not a fan, I can respect the legacy of an IP, and I don't think that it should be regulated to mobile. Free to play. If it was a full game, like Nintendo did with Super Mario Run or whatever, they charge an entry fee, and it's a full game experience. That would be different. But right off the bat, free to play, so it's gonna have those little time roadblocks and all, the time gaps and all that crap. So yeah, I think that people that appreciate that type of game will not necessarily enjoy what they're doing with Command and Conquer as a legacy IP.
What I don't understand, and what Epic has done with Fortnite, they put it on everything. Why couldn't they put Command and Conquer on everything? At the very least, they could put a game on PC and allowed you to play on mobile.
Well, they had a reason to. They had a reason to put Fortnite on everything. Do they have a reason? Do you have a reason? I mean, come on!
Fortnite's the biggest game in the world right now.
We saw it with PUBG came out. About King of the Hill. It's been a while since I played King of the Hill, but I played it. I can't believe I was like, shit! I played King of the Hill a long time ago. This has not been a lot of that shit. And then they were like, oh, there's some Fortnite up or whatever. Fortnite got real ridiculous. They were like, shit, let's go put this on another one. Got ridiculous again. I mean, the ball was rolling. They just moved shit out the way. Command and Conquer stagnant.
Yeah, true.
Very true.
You're right about that, but I don't see why they don't want to expand their audience, and I don't see that why you don't do that with a lot of games, especially games that have been sitting on the sideline for a long time. That's looking for an audience, because the Command and Conquer audience are PC players.
Yeah, the big thing. Here's I just want to interject with your opinion real quick. I mean, esports right now is really big right now, and it's constantly growing. So the gentleman what Yama said, why isn't Command & Conquer, like I said, why is Command & Conquer on the PC? Because we have no competition. StarCraft went free to play, or whatever weird starter edition that they went with. They could just take over that space. I know those guys are looking for real money to get into. Esports is lucrative right now in a lot of the major countries that play games.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's just them dropping the ball, using the Command and Conquer name. I really feel like there's no way that it can climb after this. I don't think there'll ever be a Command and Conquer main title ever again after this.
Me personally, I mean, I'm not to say that I hate RTSs. I'm an Age of Empires fan. That's about it. But I don't play RTS that hard, and I've never been that great with them. I'm super actiony. But for me and stuff, personally, I'm like, okay, at a level of putting more stuff out there, Command and Conquer, let's do this and do that or whatever. It reminds me of Sega's what is that? What's that game? Total War. Or whatever, right? But I don't know if Total War is in that aspect. But I'm like, where's all this love coming from? And they, kept up with this in different parts of the country and whatnot. To say that if you put Command and Conquer out here and whatnot to make a lot more money and get a ball rolling and everything, even if we remotely compare it to Fortnite stuff right now, I'm like, we gotta see. And maybe that's their, that's how companies do their things or whatever. When they talk about bring back an old franchise or whatever, it's let's test the waters and stuff. But I do agree. I don't really understand the whole test the waters on a platform that a lot of people don't really want to play it on and stuff like that. I mean, did the same thing with Breath of Fire, where they were like, oh, you know what? You guys remember Breath of Fire, right? Cell phone. What the fuck? I don't want to play that. I don't want to do that shit. Then you get a bunch of that, and then that game goes down, and then now old heads, or not old heads, but people who are in the industry for years on end and stuff, we're talking about 50 and up and shit, are well, it wasn't making enough money, so
so kill it.
fuck it, like
Yeah.
and you never see it again or whatever. So I agree with your like the thing of why not just put it onto this or whatever. But a lot of reasons is that like, oh well, humorous. What's the lowest cost we can do to do this? Was put on cell phone games.
Yeah, low cost and very high returns.
Two
Exactly.
ways to kill. Two ways to kill your franchise is to put it on mobile or make a cryptocurrency out of it.
Oh
That's
god.
kind of where it's at.
Make a cryptocurrency out of it. You could also, there's a third option. You could also make it into a pachinko machine.
Oh
That's-
yes.
There you go.
That's the Konami way, right?
Yeah, that's what Konami's doing. Pachinko machines and urinals apparently.
That's what it felt like. It was like Command and Conquer, pachinko. Like,
Yeah.
Like, what does it have Command and Conquer? I don't understand where I'm getting this love from. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing if I want to play at that machine for pachinko. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all we got from EA. Unless anybody had anything else
No.
they wanted to add. Okay, we're okay. Done with EA, so let's go ahead and move on. Now we're jumping into the world of Microsoft, and goddamn, did they announce a lot of shit?
Microsoft
Yeah.
had a lot.
They did a lot. Like,
I thought
and
that conference was pretty good.
With
to be
with
honest.
any press conference, I'll usually be happy if there's one thing that like made me like really like that blew me away. There were multiple points in this conference where I was like, hot damn, I wasn't expecting that. That looked good.
yeah, exactly the same thing here. And the weird thing about it is like a lot of these games, or the majority of these games, are not first party. They're not exclusives.
No.
But the fact that they were announced on Microsoft stage says a lot, because
May Cry on that matter.
you had Devil May Cry, a legacy PlayStation title, announced on the Microsoft stage. Like
Yes,
that says a lot in my opinion. They also announced other games like they went full on anime with the
Oh, the
Jump Force.
with the Jump Force. Yeah,
Jump
Jump Force. They also talked about what was that other game they talked about? I can't
Talked
remember.
about they're putting Tales of Vesperia.
Yeah, Tales,
Definitive
yeah.
Edition,
Yeah.
Automata.
and then Kingdom Hearts if you want. It's still a little bit more anime in your life.
Yeah, just in case you were missing out on the anime. And then they wrapped it up with the announcement, or the official trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, which is on a lot of people's radars. Is a game that's been in development for a very long time. So to see that on the Microsoft,
2077 years it's been development.
yeah, to see that on Microsoft stage was something to behold. I've been saying this for a long time. If Microsoft is going to do anything at this E3, they need to show off some games. And they did, like, promptly. They showed off a lot of games. They also showed off more gameplay for Crackdown 3, because we know that it has been delayed, but
It's about this far from being.
it's
Vancouver.
oh my god, it's like this close. We just need that thing to just come on out, man. Just go ahead, come on out.
And then
I don't think there's a
they
Crackdown.
talked about this isn't quite anime, but it's still in the Japan theme. They had what was it? The trailer for Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Oh my god,
Actually,
That
that looks pretty
came
good.
out of left
That-
field and looked
yeah.
really good.
That game
Oh yeah. That's
looks
From
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the thing that caught me by surprise was definitely the Devil May Cry
Yeah, the Devil-
5 announcement. Like, holy shit! Like, just watching the trailer, I thought that this was going to be a sequel to the DMC series.
I was pleasantly surprised that it's not gonna be
Yeah, pleasantly surprised. Is this the original director, or like who's the one that's behind this? Is this the same guy that left and then went and did Bayonetta?
No, that's not him. It's the guy
Yeah,
who did-
Sonny's here, by the way.
This is the guy who did 4 and 2.
Okay,
Okay.
So yeah, he's back in it. He seems really excited about the game.
yeah, he put out some bold claims.
Yeah, it's gonna exceed our expectations, is what he said.
I mean, they already exceeded my expectations by not making a sequel to DMC, because I don't know. A lot of people like say that, swear by that game, like it's actually good, but I just didn't like the attitude behind the character. Like I did not like
iconic
Dante.
characters and then reboot them to be like just emo schmucks. Like it's not a thing that you do.
Yeah. A few more squawks, so we might have to take an intermission here. but yeah.
Real quick, the big thing that I got out of the Microsoft conference was the showing of that they are working, that they are truly
Yes.
working.
Yeah, working
The
hard.
announcement of 5 studios, especially Ninja Theory being in that category I was not expecting Ninja Theory to show up in there. And Undead Labs, their State of Decay 2. I'm enjoying State of Decay 2. So I
tried it. It wasn't necessarily for me. Well, we got some Gears announcements. What, like 3 Gears of War games?
Let me talk about the Gears announcement, man. I hope y'all were all watching Gears. When they showed that icon for Gears, everyone's like, "Oh!" And then those pop figures.
Yeah, it was like
Funko Pop Gears.
Oh my god,
amazing!
They were so out. That crowd was silent. I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, no, that was surprising. I thought that they were going to just like end it on the tactics games, which actually looks interesting in itself. That actually looks fun too.
Yeah.
The Gears Tactics, but then they showed off a lot of Gears 5 though.
I think it went down better for me that they announced. If that was the only Gears they announced, it would have been a problem. But
yeah,
the fact that they announced Gears 5 after that, I think that, you know, because people will wait for Gears. Everybody's like, Gears 5 is coming because Gears 4 ended on a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
So everybody's expecting the Gears 5 to come, and when they showed that pop caps, they showed the Gears sign and they showed the pop characters out. Yeah.
I was like, everyone's like, woo, and then the pop characters was silent, just like. I was like, ooh.
Well, I want that to be a thing now. Like, you show like the logo of like a beloved franchise, and it turns out to be like a pop game or like a Lego game or something.
I thought they were about to destroy Gears. That's what I thought. Like,
I was like, damn, it's over. Like we've reached this point.
I was about to say. For me, honestly, the things that I was happy about, I've been waiting for this game to come out. We Happy Few. That was one I was really looking for. I did like Tunics.
Tunic looks interesting as hell.
Yeah.
Did you play We Happy Few, the alpha? Or
yeah, I did.
And you were still looking forward to it, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly was, because like I did like the idea of the story or whatever. I did feel like that this company or whatever had a really good thing going on it, where it's horror in a sense of madness going on in the setting, rather than just being like, oh, it's dark and I can't see some shit or whatever. But
it's creepy. It's one of those creepy. It's like a kid joint.
Yeah, and that's, you know, those 2 things. I was like, oh, it's cool, and it was good that, you know, that's what we wanted Microsoft to see. It was like, hey, you know, we bought up some studios. That's what we were doing, right?
Yeah, I'm happy that they did.
I think that's something I really wanted to see. We talked about this, me and Trenell. We talked about this on our end of the year. We did our predictions, right? I thought Microsoft would have to buy some major studios to get back in the game, and that's what they did. They bought 4 and opened a new one, or bought 5 and opened a new one.
Yeah.
The only thing with it is we won't see anything for several years.
Oh, hell yeah.
2 to 3 years.
Hell
but
no, yeah.
At least we know it's coming, and I have to commend them on that part. But you know, they're still behind. They're going to remain behind until.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, for the foreseeable future.
Everything that we've seen so far in every one of these press conferences that we've gone over, it's always been 2019, or at least 2019, or no release date at all. You know, like
it's the illusion of that. Hey, this showed on here or whatever, and we're gonna play that. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer be first be shown on the Xbox thing or whatever, which is actually kind of cool. But obviously, it's multi-platform, and we ain't gotta worry about that.
Right.
Shit. But like, it's just the idea that showing it out first and putting in people's heads that you can get it first at Xbox or whatever, will get kind of like a run for money. Because I was like, me and Reggie keep talking about Final Fantasy 15, and I thought that game.
Xbox?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, didn't they show off the crossover? Wasn't that on the Microsoft stage as well, or was that on the PlayStation?
I thought
stage?
that was on that was on their own stage on the screen.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like when I thought 15 was PlayStation only. If you want to play Final Fantasy 15, that's
it.
To
get on PlayStation.
Yeah, but they were like, oh no, it's on the Xbox as well. I said, oh shit. I was like, I did not know that crap.
That's the same thing with Monster Hunter World. Like I think Monster Hunter World's only on PlayStation, but it is on Xbox.
Yeah, like, holy shit.
Yeah, some other. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's just the if they can kind of run with that and advertise it very well to put it on them first for certain games, that's fine. Where regardless is multi-platform, they got the numbers to match or do something else.
Yeah,
there.
and they've actually been going out of their way to make Xbox more accessible. They introduced a new controller for disabled people. They're making it very easy to play Xbox games on PC. It's seamless. I've tried it with the Play Anywhere. I used
Cuphead.
State of Decay 2. I was able to play that co-op with Yanni at my house. It was actually pretty freaking legit. Some other notable games that they talked about though, they brought up the Sea of Thieves DLC packs. Which is good that they're still supporting that game.
Yes.
I think
It's good that somebody is still supporting that
Right.
game.
That's a game that people want to play. That's the thing.
Right.
People want to love Sea of Thieves, but
They want
just
to
don't
so
They just
much.
don't have the content for us to love it.
Yeah, they
so-
want it to be a game, is what they want.
The CFDs, they do have a dedicated community. There's a community in there that plays it dedicated. It's just not a huge community.
Yeah.
And it didn't resonate with the mainstream.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Forza Horizon 4. That's Boogie series right there. I'm gonna kill this bird. Go ahead.
The choreography boogie, what they had in Forza out here, yo. I was like, yo.
I'm just glad.
Drivers.
I'm just glad that they didn't bring up a fucking car on stage for like absolutely no reason. Like I feel like cutting out some of that crap was good. Like there was not a lot of cringe with the Xbox. The Xbox.
Very
opposite of
alarmingly low levels of cringe.
The showmanship when like we were talking about Cyberpunk, that announcement, how they handled that, like we're closing it out, everybody go home, and then everything.
And then,
like it got hacked.
yo, you know what? I was saying this when it happened, man. Why did they put up the blue screen of death? Because it was Microsoft. That would have made so much sense. That would have been hilarious if they did that.
Awesome.
Battletoads?
Self-deprecate that much. That's
Battletoads though.
That's hitting a little bit too close to home for them, I
Oh
bet.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
joke's
that
over
might
now.
have been triggered somebody.
That's like if you go back to like the E3 press conference at like during the 360 days, and they like
they red ring
they
it.
did a red ring.
Yeah.
Nobody will be laughing. People will be pissed.
Yeah. You probably might trigger some people with that. But yeah, the Battletoads announcement, I thought that was pretty cool.
The joke's over now. Now we can't. We could actually say it was the new Battletoads coming out at GameStop and shit.
Yeah, with that new Battletoads, man. I'm gonna need that new Battletoads, my boy. Some other. Of course, we can't leave without talking about the Halo teaser. New Halo Infinite is what they're calling it.
Whatever.
Okay,
Halo
what do you think this
Infinite.
is?
I don't think I think it's gonna be Halo's excuse to do some outlandish shit like a battle royale or something.
I think it's
Halo Battle Royale.
I think
Yeah.
it's like open world game.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be the excuse to go outside the norm, just because it's not a mainline title. It's not number 6.
And
Yeah.
So yeah, we could just speculate, and I think that just going off the title alone, Halo Infinity makes you think, like you were saying, open world or massively multiplayer, one of those two. I'm thinking this is going to be Halo's answer to Destiny, basically.
That's
what I'm
exactly what
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
That's yeah. And another thing is they said this is super early in production, so it may not even come out until the next generation.
Yeah.
It may not even have anything to do with that teaser this show.
Yeah.
I mean, because that looked like we're going back in time, the Halo 1-ish era.
Yeah.
Or
with
before.
the 4-horn rhinos and grass in the Halo game. Yeah, everything's dead in Halo, right?
Yeah.
So
I
clearly
didn't-
we got. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I didn't hear anybody talk about the Division 2. Like I was
The
saying.
Division 2.
You're right. You didn't hear anybody talking
Yeah.
about.
No, I mean, I haven't touched the Division 1 since like very early in that game's life cycle, and apparently from then to now it's a completely different game. So I actually am a little curious as to how they've learned from their mistakes. And that's the thing about Ubisoft. Ubisoft will stick in there for the long haul. Like just look at Rainbow Six Siege. Like that game is completely different.
For Honor.
Oh my god.
Everything that they're doing. Ubisoft is in it for the long run.
Yeah.
Year 1, the game is gonna suck, but year 2, hot. It's gonna be fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the reason I didn't want to say anything about the Division 2 is because they actually went into it in a lot more detail at the Ubisoft
on
conference.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they
Oh,
did.
okay, my bad.
No, it's all good. Dying Light 2 was also a game that was showed off. I liked the first Dying Light. I liked the parkour system. I thought it was pretty cool. The crafting system and all that. I'm gonna kill this bird. I am going to kill it. Like I don't know what's going on out there. But
That bird really liked the Division, man.
The Division is his favorite game. It's his favorite game. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. The next conference that we had was Bethesda, and I don't know. I thought this was actually pretty good. I didn't think they were going to have much to talk about because we already knew about Fallout 76 before E3, but they actually surprised us a bit.
They showed Fallout 76 on the Microsoft stage too, didn't
Yeah,
they?
and they did. Yeah, they actually came out on the Microsoft stage and showed it as well. But yeah, Starfield, a brand new IP.
Yeah, that was what caught me off guard. The only thing that blew me away at this that I didn't expect at this entire press conference was they have a brand new IP.
Right. Yeah. What do you guys thoughts on it?
From it, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
This is a problem I have with Bethesda.
Holy
in the announcement. Two of the biggest games they announced, the Elder Scrolls 6, right?
Oh damn! Don't hurt me.
And Starfield, they're so early in development. They don't know when it's going to be out. So it can be 2 years, 3 years, shit. It can be
not
10 years
even
from
2019. Like
Right.
we're talking like 2020, if that. You know.
If we're lucky. Yeah. So it's cool that they announced these new games, but they really didn't have anything to show us, and we know that we won't see them for years.
I think the key thing though to always remember, just to add what you said, they didn't Todd Howard say that Elder Scrolls 6 was being designed for the new generation.
Yes.
So yeah, we probably won't be seeing that till 2020.
It's like 2 years out.
We're not gonna have to buy a console. It'll just be played directly in our neural lobes.
I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that.
I mean, the size of every Elder Scrolls game or Fallout game or whatever has always been really massive. The only thing I really hope for any of these other games and whatnot is if the gameplay actually evolves to be something different. Like,
I hope they update their engine because their engine is from like 1982.
Man, looking at Fallout, that thing looks like 4. It looks like Fallout 4.
I hope they
it's
bring
dated.
back the really involved melee combat system that they had in Skyrim. I hope that they really keep that intact.
I hate you.
Ooh, that sarcasm burns a little bit. That hurts.
Like the gameplay for Skyrim and whatnot, any big battle or anything is literally you running up to them and they're like, you just constantly, exactly.
Rating
How it is.
HP.
Yeah.
I just hope that the game runs at a solid 30 frames per second, and I don't get hit by people like walking through walls and stuff. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to.
That is so like 720p, yo.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I want. That's what I want them to do with any of their games and whatnot. I'm not a huge. I mean, Fallout's a different story. It's like kind of like a shooter, and you have melee combat.
Which did get better compared to 3 in Vegas.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
like with Elder Scrolls or whatever, we're kind of limited to like melee combat and sword and shield and stuff or whatever. And then in this next game, I really hope. I love Skyrim. I played Skyrim too fucking long. I think a lot of us maybe have. I don't know about all of us, but for me, like getting the DLC pack and the biggest disappointing thing was that getting the vampire DLC and then like finding the head vampire and it was literally like, oh, I owned you by just slashing you, and it was supposed to be so climactic, but it was so well told of the story.
There was a lot of moments like that in Skyrim where like you'd have this epic build up and it'd play this epic music and then it'd be like bonk. All right, I'm dead now.
Yeah, like take like
But yeah, and then like they're talking about this game, the new Fallout is supposed to be like 4 times bigger than 4. I mean, 4 was freaking huge. I feel like this is. I didn't finish 4 just because it was so damn big, and I didn't even finish the main quest line in Skyrim just because it was too much shit to do. I was good. They could have rolled the credits after that quest line where you like went to Hogwarts and shit. I don't know what the fuck it was called.
H Cafe.
Yeah, man, that shit was dope. They could have, they could have rolled credits
I felt
right
immersed
there.
as fuck during that quest line.
Yo, I loved it. They could have rolled credits after that. But yeah, these like, how big is too big when it comes to these sandbox games, man?
Well, people are still playing them, man. People love it.
People.
Like,
They still play. And
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Finish, Reggie.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I was with Skyrim and Fallout. I mean, people absorb that content. That could be one person's one game for the entire year. I think that's completely okay with all the thought that goes into Bethesda games. Yeah, they do need to step up their melee combat, their magic systems, and all that. They keep dumbing it down, and then like they keep making it boring. Like you can't get silly with it right now. And with Skyrim and Fallout, I mean, be it mods have finally come to the console, it shouldn't be up to the community to make the gameplay fun.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's more along the lines, and it's part of the reason we didn't see a ton of games is these developers and publishers more so. They're making these games. They want them to be evergreen. They want them to last for a long time. They want them to last 2-3 years. So they make Fallout 76 4 times as large as Fallout 4. That means you get people to play it for a year and a half before they really get finished with everything, and by the time they get through everything, you can push them a DLC. That way, you're not spending a ton of money developing new title after new title. You can just add on to what you already have, and it's more cost effective.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then they come out usually about a year. They come out with their mod tools, so there are people buying the game just to mod it, not even play it, just to make their own stuff for it.
Crazy. They also announced the new entry in the Doom, the revived Doom franchise, Doom Eternal. What's going on with these subtitles? Eternal, Infinite, like it's a lot of like last forever type things going on in the game industry right now.
That goes to my previous comment. Is they want to make one game last for 3 years. So they don't want they want to get away from the new game every year model and make one game every couple of years.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
Somebody tell that to EA.
So that was just another broad future teaser. We don't know nothing about
nothing about it. Yeah,
right. I'm okay because Doom was hot.
Doom was fine.
Doom was hot. Doom was good. I have faith in them that they won't mess up Doom. Doesn't matter what kind of game it is.
They also talked about the new Prey DLC. Moon Crash.
Well? I heard it was good, but was it?
No, Prey did not do well. But
actually, no.
But what they're adding is the most obvious DLC ever, which is, it sounds like it's just gonna be prop hunt in Prey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is that's the most obvious idea. As soon as I played Prey and got the idea, the concept of the mimics, I was like, oh. You could just this is just prop hunt. You could just play as a mimic, and you could play prop hunt with your friends. And sure enough, it's exactly what they're putting in the game. Mode we play as a mimic.
Also got Fallout Shelter on the Switch. Anybody taking Fallout Shelter off their phone and transferring to the Switch?
That's a hard pass, yeah.
Yeah, hard pass on that one. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
The new
it was fun when it came out.
Don't forget Wolfenstein, because Wolfenstein Wolfenstein 2 is killing it. So there's a new Wolfenstein. There's no date on that. And then what's coming out next year? There's a game coming out next year.
Was that Rage?
2019. Is it Rage 2? Yeah, Rage 2. No, something else.
I thought it was.
That's all they talked about. Yeah, I think it's Rage 2. That's all. The only other thing they talked about.
Is it coming out next year or the end of this year?
It's at 2019.
Okay.
They have a game coming in 2019.
Yeah,
anyone else play Rage 1? Because I played Rage.
I did. I enjoyed it. It was a linear, open environmental shooter. It wasn't it wasn't a sandbox or anything, but it had open environments. It was pretty linear as far as the story and the route that you could take. But it was cool. It had it had okay driving mechanics, okay gunplay. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was just
sounds like that's a lot of okay.
Yeah, it was it was very okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was just very okay.
Shooting the shotgun in that game felt really good though. I don't know, something about a good meaty shotgun is always a solid in a shooter.
Yeah.
But
and that was on the 360, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, that was a 360 game. Yeah.
I mean, what's okay? So what's the how are y'all feeling about part 2 though? Is it a pickup? Is it looking okay?
It might be one of those games where if I have some extra money laying around, I might pick it up. It might be one of those impulse buy type games, but it's not something that I'm actively looking forward to. Honestly,
that is a games with gold for me.
A games with gold. I'll get it when it's free.
Yeah, no, I have the exact same idea. I'll get it if it becomes discounted or becomes really easy to get my hands on.
I'll get it when it comes to Humble Bundle.
Also, I forgot that this happened, but because it was also sort of a fever dream. But you remember when John Romero just sort of walked out and started doing a rock heavy metal concert, just at the very beginning of the Bethesda concert. I mean, the Bethesda. John Romero just comes out on stage, despite not being. I didn't know that he was a rocker, but he just shows up. It just starts headbanging, doing singing something. It was weird. An old school game developer come out and just perform a heavy metal concert.
Yeah, it was odd.